Hello, and welcome to Ignite. Welcome to day 3, and welcome to the Enterprise-Ready Windows Productivity Tools for Developers and IT Pros session. Today, I'm very happy to be giving an ASMR session for you all, so I hope you'll enjoy. And my name is Craig Loewen. I'm a product manager at Microsoft, working on developer tools inside of the Windows operating system team. And I'm joined today by my co-presenter.
Hi, I'm Clint Rutkas. I'm also on the same team as Craig and working on the Windows developer tools.
And so we work directly on Windows, and our goal is to make developing and doing productivity on Windows as awesome as possible, especially for developers and IT pros. But that includes a ton of different tools and applications.
Yeah, so just past Windows, we work on Windows Terminal, Windows Subsystem for Linux, 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗀𝗇𝗏, your friendly package manager built in, also Microsoft PowerToys, which is your advanced user incubation system on Windows. We also build out Windows App SDK, Windows SDK, 𝗦𝗽𝗀UI, Windows ML APIs, Windows AI APIs, and much, much more. That's what our larger team focuses on. So it's not just the developer tools, but we build much more.
And we're, basically 2 people who are part of that team. So there's a whole wide amount of team of people behind us as well, who are, don't always get the chance to come up on stage and talk to you.
We're just the lucky people that get to talk to you all.
Yeah, and so our goal today is really to kind of give you that overview. You saw an end-to-end of the products. We want to show you basically 3 big things. The first is, hey, how are we making the Windows operating system better for you as a developer and IT pro? And then what are the ways that we're working with the community to make some awesome productivity tools, and then ways that you could join in as well if you wish. And then lastly, how can you power up your Windows applications with some of the latest tech that we have integrating with Windows? So let's jump in. And of course, we're going to jump from the slides and go straight to our machine, because demos are way better.
Yeah, and that button was way more sensitive than I thought it was going to be. OK, so this is my settings screen. Why am I showing you my settings screen? Is because we added a bunch of new things inside of Windows. So first, I'm going to go to System, and then I'm going to go to Advanced. Right here, you can see this used to be the Developer tab, and then we've up-leveled it to Advanced. And the reason why is it has a lot more than just developer tools. So we wanted to change the phrasing and be more inclusive here. So let's go jump in. And here you can see first is End Task. As a power user, this is I choose to turn this on. This is off by default. It's also controlled through GPO. But you can go and right-click on stuff, and now you can see End Task is directly built in. So if anything ever gets a little wonky as you're developing, you can end task it. It acts just like Task Manager. Next up is long file paths. Is a quick, easy setting now inside of File Explorer or inside of the settings. So if you deal with long file paths, like some of the repositories we do, they can get fairly long as we're building it out. This is a setting you need enabled. Super quick and easy there. The last kind of cool thing is in Windows, I believe it was 24H2, we introduced sudo. So if you're ever using a Linux distro, you can type in sudo and then the command, and it will automatically elevate it. We've added that into Windows. So there are 3 default settings if you choose to turn this on. It defaults to in a new window. This is no different than if you were to launch it as an elevated prompt. Input disabled. And then lastly is inline. Inline would act just like Linux would. For me, I like it inline, so I set it to inline. I want to stress this is off by default. Next is, and what I think is actually kind of the coolest stuff here.
This is what I'm excited for.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Is down here, we've made File Explorer Git aware. So if you have a Git directory, you can start getting some information here. So here I have 3 of my repositories here. Craig, I think I'm forgetting one.
You're missing the Windows Subsystem.
Yeah, so it's as easy as quickly picking a folder here. I select that folder, click it, and now that folder will become source aware. So I'm going to go to File Explorer now, click Explorer. I'm going to go to Terminal. I'm sorry, File Explorer, the Terminal. And you can start seeing all the Git information for all the files start kind of streaming in as it's coming in. So these are just to get you where you need to go. Next, you can see down here is, as Craig's going to use the Zoom It Master here, is your branch along with the diff. So this is, once again, to help you get where you need to go and say, like, oh, am I on a different branch or a fork? This teaches you and gives you that information that you need to be sure that you're in the correct repository at that time to unblock you.
And our ideology for this feature is not to replace, your command line or VS Code. This is more just trying to show you like a read-only operation of, hey, what do I have open in File Explorer? If you want to go and manage or interact with these, you can still use VS Code and use all the tools that you want.
Yep. OK, so next, we're going to start up Terminal. So in 25H2, we've introduced a cool little editor called Edit. It's a TUI, so a text input editor.
Terminal UI.
Terminal UI,
like a GUI.
Like a GUI. And here, the entire point here is, once again, you have quick, easy access. It's wicked fast. It is about 500K of code and open source. And it's fully mouse enabled. So here I can just go File Open. I'm going to go up-level my directory here a bit more. Let's go grab a really, really, really big file. And just so you all know how big of a file this is, you can see that's a 1 gig.
1 gig JSON file.
1 gig JSON file. And it's going to load that quick. Now, we're not going to lie. We just cut and paste the JSON file quite a bit. So it's going to look very, very the same JSON here. But let's just scroll it all the way to the end. You can see that's a really big file. And then you can go do basic operations like, hey, let's go jump to a column. Let's go jump to column 50,000. It's designed for speed, get you unblocked to wherever you need to go.
One of my favorite parts about it is, as you've been using it, you can see you can drag the scroll bar. It works just like a actual application would on your machine, like a GUI app. But it's also fully keyboard compliant. So I'm a Vim guy. I really love Vim. I've really enjoyed using this as well because I don't ever have to move my hands off the keys.
OK, so that's Edit. So let's go switch back into one of my favorite things, Terminal. So here I'm running the Canary build of Terminal. This is available to everyone. These features that I will be demoing will be moving into the mainline RTM branch. But here you can see I have this cool little thing. And wouldn't it be nice if these things kind of got a little bit more organized? They feel a little cluttery to me.
Right. These are your profiles.
Yeah, these are my profiles. So we introduced the new tab menu here. So here you can say it's just basically ordering it as all the remaining here. So let's go add in a folder. I'm going to actually, I want to do my GitHub Copilot profiles here.
All right.
So I'm going to go Copilot. I'm going to click plus. Cool. And then let's go add my profile. Here's my terminal profile. So I'm going to go click that. Let's go move that really quickly into the Copilot directory. But I want to go add in, let's go terminal. Yeah, let's go add in the terminal one.
OK.
Or actually, no, sorry, I already had, that was my sample. I'll add in PowerToys here. So I'm going to go click a new profile here. I'm going to go to
make a new one.
Yep. So I'm going to grab PowerShell. So this is PowerShell 7. Click duplicate. So first, let's go rename this to Copilot-PowerToys. OK, so here's the command line arg. To do this, what I'm going to do is -C, so that's going to execute the exact command. Copilot is the command to call. And because I like the banner, I'm just going to add in the banner command.
So what we're doing is we're making a new profile. It starts PowerShell and then immediately runs that command for you.
Yes. OK. Now, because Copilot needs you to be context aware here, or the folder aware, I'm going to go change my folder here. So I'm going to go back to my repositories. I'm going to click PowerToys, select that folder. So now it's going to launch into that folder and then execute that command.
Nice.
I'm a big advocate of having the correct icon. So I love PowerShell, but we're not PowerShell. And because this is not the best practice, let's go grab the icon on my desktop here. And I'm good with the rest of the settings. I don't want to run it as administrator or anything else. So I'm just going to click Save here. OK. So now if I go up here, you can see my Copilot right here. I'm going to go back to the menu button. I'm going to go add that PowerToys back in there.
That's what I like about the remaining files
Yeah.
one, is that you can edit the ones that you like as you like it and say whatever else I have installed still show up.
So moving it back in, and I want my Copilot up on top. I'm gonna click save, and now we're good to go. So Copilot, it looks like it did not save. This is why it's still in Canary.
We are in the Canary build.
So give me one quick second. And I don't know why it didn't save there, but.
That's all right.
So if I launch it, goes, launch into it. Here you can see it's in the PowerToys main directory and launched directly into the PowerToys repository from the CLI.
So we're making it a lot easier to edit, access, and move around, customize your terminal as you like it.
Customize it and get where you need to go faster. So if you have your directories and profiles that you need to go in and quicker, this is why you'd create a profile for those things, or distros, or quick commands and whatnot. So for me, I'm using Copilot typically in PowerToys and Terminal, so that's why I created these two quick profiles, and I thought I'd share it with how easy and quickly you can do it. And with Canary, you can even now sort all your things. So for you probably run 3 or 4 different distros of Linux.
Oh, yeah.
So this helps just condense and get everything where you need to go.
Nice.
Okay, speaking of WSL, there's also another new feature inside of settings here. So if I go to Ubuntu here, under Advanced, you can see this path translation. And this path translation goes from Windows into Linux.
Okay.
And that's really powerful because then we can, let's go to Ubuntu here. And
this feature is on by default in the
yes, this is in Canary right now. This is on by default. So let's say in a world where I want to kind of drag that file over, you can see it went from Windows into Linux there. And now it translated the path. You don't have to go back and change your slashes. It just works automatically. And here's actually one of the other cool little things is Edit, a community member, made it work on Linux. So here it is also working on Ubuntu.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So it was all written in Rust and open source.
Yep.
So they're able to easily recompile it. And then we also do official builds now for Linux as well, which is really cool.
OK, so now let's go switch back and talk about community-driven productivity tools. So here, we're going to quickly talk about command palette, light switch. We'll probably show off a couple more things, and then you'll talk about advanced paste. Boop. So with that, we're going to go straight back into the slides, if I can remember that on my monitor too. And we're going to go show off, first let's actually show off light switch. So what is light switch here? Light switch is a brand new PowerToy that will auto set your Windows theme from light to dark mode based on your time zone, based on predefined settings. So for me, I like personally my bar to be dark mode, and then my apps to be light mode and dark mode appropriately.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Style is not, a universal constant.
So here, the nice thing is you can also see you can set this to what you want here. So for me, I am not going to switch settings, the system settings, because I like that. And that's the nice thing here is we want you to do what you want. So because it's daytime right now, it's not going to auto switch, but I'm just going to invoke the hotkey here. So by default, it is Control-Shift-Window-D. And you can see everything switched into dark mode. I'm going to hit that hotkey again, and everything's going to switch back.
Right, and so you can make that automatically go on with your nightlight, etc. That is pretty nice. So
you can set it fixed hours, sunrise, sunset.
Nice.
Pick and choose what you want. Up next will be command palette. So command palette is basically PowerToys Run version 2. So we learned a lot there, and now it's designed to be just the fastest, most extensible launcher on PowerToys to date. So I've personally set, actually really quickly, by default, the setting here is Window Alt space. Because PowerToys deeply believes in user configuration, you can switch it and pick whatever you want. I picked Alt space here. I believe yours is 𝗦𝗲𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗃.
I like 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀.
I'm personally a big just keep my run dialog the way it is fan, so, you know.
Like style.
So here it is. I just hit Alt space. You saw how quickly it pulled up, just up, down. Designed to be super, super duper fast. So here, I'm going to quickly just search for files here. So I'm going to go README, and you can see how fast it's searching the system. This is just using Window Indexer, and which is actually really, really fast to search for files here. So, or I can do Visual Studio.
You can launch apps.
Yep, launch apps.
Right.
You can even, if you want to, it does have WinGet. So you can, from here, search for applications and install them or update them. It's, like I said, wicked fast, wicked powerful. You can fully extend and do everything here if you choose them. So that's Command Palette. And
can you also do extensions? Because that was look like an extension as well.
Yeah, you can actually build out your own extensions, if I could spell extension.
Oh, nice.
So here, if you want to, you can build out your own extension. We will build the entire template for you, and then you can launch inside of Visual Studio and make it your own.
Very cool.
And it literally takes a couple seconds to do. Next is one of my all-time favorites is fancy zones. So as a power user, you might have multi-monitors or ultra-wide monitors. So with just really quickly by holding down Shift key, and if I could hold on, you can see I'm snapping to different zones. I can go in, snap it. You can customize these zones to whatever you need.
Nice.
And then do you want to show, one also, I will say, lastly, before I hand it off, you saw me demo this a lot. My all-time favorite power toy, I think, is a little one called Find My Mouse. So you saw that big spotlight that came in on it. That is literally Find My Mouse. Hit Control twice, you'll find your mouse. For me, with an ultra-wide or my dual 24s at home, I lose my mouse. It's like the Jurassic Park with the T-Rex where I'm like, where did you go? And I can't find it. And then we've been on calls where I'm like, quick double click, you know exactly where it is. You see the motion and everything. So I really like this utility. And one of the nice things we just added in also is now you can set the opacity of the spotlight or the background to make it work. So for this, I've reduced the opacity of the spotlight so you can actually see through it. And that's one of the cool things when I'm presenting. I can draw your eye to where I need it.
Nice. That reminds me of Zoom It, which is another one we've added recently. We demoed it earlier, the ability to zoom in on something and draw lines around it. That was a sys internal tool that we've added to PowerToys and is now fully open source.
Yeah. Okay, great.
And let's take a look at the next power toy, which is near and dear to me. This is probably my favorite, which is called Advanced Paste. And so the goal of this feature is to allow you to paste in whatever format you need to be pasting in. So for example, let's say I wanted to take a screenshot. So I hit Windows Shift key and S to take a screenshot, and I want to paste it into File Explorer. Well, it's saved actually as an image on my clipboard, not as a file. So I can't paste it directly. But if I hit Shift Windows key V, you can see I get this Advanced Paste menu here. And I can choose a bunch of different options. And so we have a bunch built in, one of these being paste as a .png file, which is exactly what I wanted. And so it's able to paste that screenshot for me directly as a file. That also works for any text on your keyboard or anything else. But if you take, like for example, let's say I take some of this text and copy it. Now I have text on my keyboard. There are other options like paste as Markdown, paste as JSON, or plain text. And so our goal with this feature is to make it easy to basically convert things. And where it gets really cool is this box at the top saying describe what format you want. So we actually use AI that you can opt into using to help do some complex descriptions or complex conversions. And so let's use the latest, which this isn't released yet. So this is a build that's you can.
This is actually, it was released yesterday in .96.
Oh, nice. So it is just released, and you can go try it today. And we're going to be using one of the new tools that you might have seen called a Foundry Local. And so if I go to PowerShell.
So actually, really quick, we're going to, Craig, you cleared out. How did you clear out in the terminal?
Oh, if you hit Control L.
Control L. So this is literally something I was like, what did you just do? Because I'm always used to doing the CLS command.
Yep.
We always are learning, and that's like one of the great things with our team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at Foundry Local. So this is a tool that you can install. It's a very powerful way to run models locally on your machine. So all you need to do is look up Foundry Local, install it. You can run Foundry model list. And then this will tell you all the different models that are available to you, things like Mistral, DeepSeek, or Qwen, and then you can run them locally. So let's just show what that looks like. I can run Foundry model run, and we're going to choose Qwen, and then it will load up this GPT model for me to use, and I can go ahead and ask it some questions like, you know, hello, or whatever I might want to ask. So you can use this directly. But this is also a great prototyping tool to run some things locally for AI. And let's take a look at how we use it in Advanced Paste. And so I can go to the Advanced Paste, and I can choose Add Model. So we added this section here. And you can choose online models like OpenAI, Google, or Mistral, or more, or Azure. But we also added this Foundry Local option. And so you can choose models that are on your device. So I've grabbed the NPU and the CPU model, and I have them here, and I can add them as different providers. And what that actually looks like when we put it into action is I can have a text file here. So I've just copied this markdown, and you can see it's not quite what I wanted. It has all these spelling mistakes.
It's as if I wrote this.
Yeah, it looks not so good. Though this one seems cool.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of that one. And so if you go and you hit Shift Windows key V, you can choose which model. So I'm here on the CPU, and I'm going to describe what I want changed. So I'll say, can you fix all the spelling mistakes in the animal column and add a count column at the beginning? And so I'm going to describe it, and then now that's going to actually take that as a query, and it's going to ship that to Foundry Local. It's going to modify that data, and then it's going to put it all back onto my clipboard.
And I think the key thing here is this is 100% local. This is not going out. This is just us leveraging the LLM that's built in, local on the machine. We didn't do anything special, and now everything is fixed.
Right.
Even it went from what we thought would be funny into a bear.
Yeah, exactly. So
oh, sorry, you go.
It actually did a really good job for something like this, which is pretty awesome for a local. This is only a 7 billion parameter model, so I think it was only a few gigabytes on my machine. And so really, we want to show you some of these tools because A, they're developer productivity tools, but also we hope that this ignites some, oh wow, like I can use some of these AI tools to make some neat stuff that doesn't always have to be obvious that it's AI in the background, which is especially helpful if you don't need, you know, tokens or anything like that. Everything can be run totally locally, directly on this device.
And best of all, this is all open source. PowerToys is open source. Edit's open source. Terminal's open source. What else is open source, Craig?
Oh, great question. Because we actually just open sourced the Windows subsystem for Linux this past year in May. And so you can now look at all of the code that you would need to be able to run a WSL2 type distro. It's available at Microsoft/WSL. We really invite you to take a look. And we actually compiled some data of how it went after we open sourced. So this is our graph of how many people starred our repo. Can you guess where we open sourced?
I see a hockey stick. I think it was roughly May 2025.
Right, it looks like that. And so this is not the be-all, end-all measure of interest, but a good proxy where we see a lot more folks leaning in and taking a look at the repository. And in terms of actual pull requests, this was our graph of what people contributed back to the Windows subsystem for Linux 3 months after we open sourced. And so a lot of doc fixes, a lot of bug fixes. There's only 2 PRs that we didn't merge out of the 15 that we got, which is pretty awesome because WSL is a pretty challenging stack. You need to have a deep knowledge of Windows and Linux to be partying in that repository. And I want to call out a really exciting first feature PR that we got from the community. An engineer at Docker was able to take a look at our code and say, oh, wow, we could get the VM ID. You could expose that to us, and then we could use that to basically speed up how we're connecting to the VM and issuing commands to it. And we said, oh, we didn't even know you needed that. And so that we were able to put a PR together with that community member, which is pretty cool because it benefited both WSL and Docker.
And the great thing here is we interact with Docker constantly, and neither party knew that the other party was interested in such a thing. So we didn't even think about bringing it up. They didn't think about bringing it up as well because they didn't think we had it exposed. And by having the open source, being transparent, this is one of the great things. We made it one of the products you all use better day one.
Exactly. So let's take a look at the last graph. This is just to show, hey, the active issues in the WSL repository is actually trending down. So we're in the repository a lot. We were really engaged and wanting to hear your feedback and taking it seriously. And that goes for all of our repositories between PowerToys, Terminal, and more. And so we wanted to show you some of this data so you can feel, hey, like there's a community, I can really jump in, and I can affect the tools that I love to use, and even the Windows operating system as well.
And one thing that we shipped last build was a lot of the Zero Trust Enterprise features also.
Yes.
So can you maybe just quickly talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, so if you're in an enterprise and you are looking to use the Windows subsystem for Linux, we've shipped a ton of new features to make it easier to interact and manage WSL. You can monitor WSL with Microsoft Defender for endpoint integration. You can manage it with Intune integration, and you can even get full networking control with Windows Hyper-V firewall integration. And so if you go to our docs, WSL Zero Trust, we have a bunch of different ways to go do that. And so, yeah, we would highly recommend that you take a look, especially if you're saying, hey, I use WSL and I want to make sure that it's locked down and controlled in my enterprise. All right, and let's jump to our third section. So you've made it through the Windows OS improvements. You've made it through our community productivity updates. And now we're going to talk about how you can power up your Windows apps using some of the latest features that we have on Windows. And so we wanted to start with a cool announcement. We now have a Windows App Development CLI, which is called WinApp. And so it's an open source command line interface, and it's going to help you be able to manage all of your Windows SDK, your Windows App SDK. It's going to help you with the MSIX packaging. It's going to help you with being able to use certifications and more. It's going to help you with signing, and the coolest part is that it works great for any app framework. And so you can use it with things like Electron, and you can use it with things like Rust if you want. So let's actually go and take a look, because I want to jump to my slides and show you a demo project. So I have actually been working on a secret new app that I think is going to revolutionize the world.
I feel like you didn't go through the proper route for building this app. I don't know if the community is going to really want this built in, but let's give it a spin.
I think it should be default, actually.
I have an open mind here.
So this is my PowerToys roulette wheel. If you spin it, it will randomly run an executable for you on your computer. That one hit an error, which is OK, because I coded this, so you can only expect so much. But this one opened up, so there we go. It runs a random executable for you, very powerful. And I want this to be able to be run both in Linux and on Windows. So I've actually built this into WSL as well. And so I have a project here, and we can run this. And we have the same app running both in Linux. That does the same thing. So I spin the wheel, and we go. I think I hit an error because I broke the path when I did this. Let's see. Aha! Then it opens Control Panel. So there we go. I've made a beautiful app that I want to share with the world. But it is Rust-based. So let's crack it open and take a look at what is actually happening inside of this code base. So I've written this all in Rust for fun. And I have all of my app here. And I want to now package this and share it with someone. And so I'm going to use the new WinApp tool to do that. So I'm going to go back to my command line, because I'm comfortable there. And we're going to make a test packaging folder. So this is exactly how I would do it if I was starting out. And I can then do winget install the Microsoft app WinApp CLI. So I would install it. Luckily, it's already installed. And I can run winApp init dot. Now, this command is powerful. What it's going to do is it's going to check my machine for, hey, are you in the state that's ready for Windows app development? And whatever I'm not ready for, it will fix for me. And so you can see that it checked, did I have the SDK installed? Do I have NuGet available? Am I using the right certificate? Do I have an AppX manifest.xml? It generates all of this for me, installs everything I need, and then once I run it, now my machine is fully in a place that's ready to go. So I can check out what it made. It made a sample AppX manifest, it made a dev certificate for me, and more. So it basically set up my project for success. And so that's what I've already done here in this folder. You can see my tests before, but this is my actual MSIX folder. And so when I build my app, so I would run cargo build, and then that builds my application, and it builds a binary. It builds a .exe. That's the output of my build system. And all I did was copy that build right here to PowerToysRoulette.exe, and then let's go cd into that and see what we can do. So I can run winapp pack is the command, and then dot, and I'm going to choose a cert. It actually gives me a cert by default. So I didn't have to generate this. It made me a nice dev cert. And I can run this command, and now it's going to take all of the contents of that folder. So it's going to take my binary, any other dependencies that I might need, and it's going to fully package that up into a .msix with identity, which is pretty cool. So I'm a big fan of Visual Studio Code. I love the fact that I can be fully in VS Code in the terminal while using this and still get an awesome MSIX app. And I can go and open this in File Explorer, and I can go share this with people, and they can install it just as an app with identity. And so I kind of want to hit home the point of, why does identity matter? One, it's nice, the fact that I get the nice launcher. I can put this in the store very easily. That's all awesome. But identity also gives you some other pretty great superpowers inside of Windows that you can get basically for free. So this is my AppX manifest.xml file. It's showing, what's the name of my app. Here's all the info. Here's the executable that we're going to run. And I can specify more information here. So let's take a look at this code block. I have a category here of file type association. And I can say any .PowerToysRoulette file, open that up with my app. This was literally all the code I added. It's like 8 lines.
You added in a file association?
I did.
Literally 8 lines?
It's part of my vision.
Great.
for this app. And so I have this lovely file, test.PowerToysRoulette, and now I can double-click this, and I've broken the build by, I think, installing things. But you could double-click and open your application through setups like this, right? So that's one awesome way. But I want to talk to you as well about some of the other new stuff that we have this year as well. I want to talk about MCP servers. And I'm going to explain them of what does that mean, and how do I use that on my app. But first, I'll tell you my opinion while writing this app. The power of it is incredible, and I want to share that with people, and I want to make an AI agent use it. But I don't want to spend a lot of time doing that. I actually really couldn't care less which agent used it. I just want any agent to use it, and I don't want to spend a lot of code and effort making it AI agent compatible. That's what we're actually going to do if we take a look at the code here. So all I had to do was write this mcp.rs file. And it's just super boilerplate code that you can grab this uses the MCP SDK from Rust. So you can use whatever toolkit you want to be able to power this. And I just use the same values and the same proprietary algorithm to do the spinning and the choosing of my executables. It's all totally shared code with my application. So it's all stored here. This is my wheel that chooses what application to go run. That is running in the same way. It's all totally shared from my MCP server. So I want to go run this, and I want to make an AI agent be able to use it. Well, I've built the MCP server. Now, how do I register that on Windows and make it automatically available? I can just go to this AppX manifest, and I just add these lines. So I choose an extension, and I choose I say this is a PowerToysRoulette MCP server, and I choose this asset, this manifest.json. So this file, if you haven't seen this before, is just a description of your MCP server. So it's saying run this binary with these commands, right? So what does that actually look like when you're an AI? Let's pretend we're an AI and actually run the MCP server. So an MCP server is just a way to interact as an agent. It's a way for an agent to talk to AI tools. And so this is a tool that you can use to test what an MCP server looks like. So all I've done is said, here's my command, run the model context protocol inspector, and then run cargo run MCP. So I've just run my MCP binary that I created earlier. That's it. And you can see that we're basically pretending we're the AI at this point. So the AI has this tool gallery available of what can it do with this MCP server. We're going to say, I want to list tools. What can I run? And you can see this is the launch roulette. So we have that wonderful function that I've described earlier in my code. So that lives right here in the mcp.rs. You can see that I've said, I want AI agents to be able to run this launch roulette function, and here's the description of what it is. So we're an AI looking at this. We have this description and this function, and then we can go ahead and run this tool. So this is great and all running locally, but I want to see how it would work for an end user. So I'm going to just quit out of that, and let's actually run it. So now that I've specified all of that, I said, hey, literally all I did was write this mcp.rs. So I wrote this. I added those 5 lines of code to .xml. And then I added this manifest.json that describes the tool. That's literally all I did. And then now when I install that PowerToys roulette app, or my users install it, then it can just be used directly on Windows. And it can be used by any AI agent that has access to MCP servers. So for example, VS Code can query all of the MCP servers that are registered on Windows automatically. And so I can say, please run a random PowerToy for me. And without any other installer set up as a user, I see, hey, I have that function available to me, right? VS Code knows that info is there. It got it from just the app being installed. And you can see my brilliant, there's the wheel spinning for the progress bar showing there. And then we get the wonderful output of, hey, go run MS Paint. And so you're able to get a full end-to-end picture of being able to bring some of the application capabilities that you have to an AI. And so really my goal with trying to show this is, if you probably are working on some awesome applications that already have deep logic. And one of the struggles that I've had is, how do I really quickly bring that to the AI world without having to worry so much or know about all these models and interactions? We are building an easy pipeline for you to just be able to say, register this. This is the functions I have available. Use my existing stuff. That is the end-to-end goal. All right. And so let's jump back in. We have talked about a lot today. Yes. And so we're going to show you some resources, but we also wanted to call out some other sessions. We want to call BRK330 for Windows setup and configuration. That's happening today with Winget, as well as BRK328 for Windows development for enterprise secure, scalable, and AI ready. Also awesome sessions that are really related to this content. And then if you're going to take a photo of any resources, this is the slide to take a photo of. It's just everything we talked about today. So you can find our contact info on the left. You can learn more about PowerToys and the WinApp CLI with all of those links there. You can learn more about Terminal and Winget, everything that we showed there, as well as WSL and Edit on the right. And so thank you very much for your time today. We really appreciate you coming out. We're very happy to do any question and answer up at the mic there. And we'll leave up while we do Q&A. Here's the session review. If you would love to give us a review, we'd love to come back next year. So please let us know how we did. Thank you very much.
Thank you.